Over to you a little bit. Excellent. All right, everybody. Thank you so much for joining me this evening, joining us. I may just pop in and out to let a few more people in. So I'm just going to get started with talking about the holidays and just kind of how to stay balanced and focus. And, over the years, I admit I have not really been a Christmas fan or a Christmas holiday sort of a person. It's interesting. Everybody has their own reasons for maybe not loving the holidays as much. And some people are just totally Christmas crazy. I'm not a person that has ever watched a Hallmark movie or um, just kind of gotten really into decorating the house. My kids are like, Mom, we have to put up the tree tonight. So we're actually going to do that this evening after I've done this class. Because I'm finally getting into the mood. And this is why I really wanted to hop on and do this class tonight, because it's all about what we focus on, right? We're all into this magnetic mind, how things work, how the law of attraction works, and it's all about what we focus on. And when we focus on the fact that something is not there, something is not what it used to be, something is not um, in those pictures in your mind that you expected to sort of be happening, it's kind of tough, and you have to go through it, and you have to spend a lot of money, and there's so many things that just kind of all happen at once, and then it's over in a day, and then you have this whole new year starting, and it's such a big time. And I always used to find that stressful because I would be doing 5,000 things alongside taking care of my family and all of their presents. And my husband is not really on board with like buying presents, and that it's more stressful to send him than to just go get it, right? So I do tend to kind of take too much on over Christmas. And this year, just in the situation that I'm in, this is the first time that I am not running like a maniac. And the stuff that it's allowed me to actually do is actually enjoy Christmas for one of the first times. I mean, I love spoiling my kids. I love, being able to have some presents under the tree for them. And I'm grateful for so many things. And I really was, but the stress would overtake it, to be perfectly honest. And right now I'm taking care of 5 other kids, doing respite care. And the fact that I'm around kids all the time has really taught me the magic of Christmas. And it's, the magic of, even if it's maybe not so much the truth that we're telling them, it's stories. And it's everything is stories, isn't it? It's all stories. It's all stories we've told ourselves. It's all of these things that sort of keep us focusing on what we're focusing on. So I am encouraging us to try and focus on making this the most unusual or different Christmas and holiday season by putting ourselves first and actually slowing down to enjoy some moments. So I'm going to very quickly go through a couple of fun things that I like to do, and some extra little tools in my toolbox that maybe you will find helpful as well. So essentially, it's all about staying stress-free during the holidays. I'm going to leave this on this mode just so that I can kind of jump through the slides that I want, because I didn't want to mess this presentation up for the other person that is going to be sharing it with me here. So thank you very much for taking this time to actually show up for this tonight, you guys. Like, we have manifested this time together, and I am super grateful to be able to just hold space with you guys for this hour, go through some stuff together. My ultimate goal for tonight is leaving you feeling better than you did when you came in, no matter what it is. I mean, we've all had some pretty great news. I don't think any of us are really, struggling super hard with the holidays, but I would like to know, where you guys are at with this. So if you can, in the chat, just either just chat at me, how is this holiday season for you? Does it feel exciting? Does it feel overwhelming? Do you love Christmas? Are you that person that's already burned through all of the Hallmark movies that are available? Are you waiting for the next ones? Just throw into the chat, or even, we don't have tons of us, I'd love it if you guys even unmuted and just shared with me, just, sort of how you're feeling if you want to. Completely up to you, whatever works best. So
Jackie, I'd like to just take a quick share.
yeah.
My birthday is the 19th, and then Christmas, and so I've always had a busy Christmas season. I always had a huge family, always had multiple stuff to go to, and it was always really fun. It was always my favorite. And then in my 40s, when everything kind of went away, my mom passed, my dad passed, like everything fell up. And then all of a sudden, the holidays were something I never wanted. Right? Then I was really depressed. So then I started doing this work, in my journey. And I'm at a place again where it doesn't matter what's going on. I want to have a good time because I love this time of year. I love how it makes me feel. I love the smell of a fresh Christmas tree. And I don't care if everybody else is grumpy. I want to make sure it's fun for me, and I hope you enjoy yourself too. That's kind of been my attitude. So
Absolutely. And that's the perfect way, right? Because I find it hard when we lose our parents, because they were the ones that brought you into this world. They were the ones that made it special. They were the ones that you went to go visit. They were the ones that held everything together. The grandparents were the glue. Things are different now, unless we're being those grandparents and we're being those parents that are hosting everything. And yeah, and that's a lot of stress because no one's not really on the same pages anymore. It's so true. Thank you for sharing that, Kim, because it's so true. And Ray is off in another country right now. She's not going to have any family or friends around her at all. So is this going to be a first for you, Ray, not having any family around?
No, actually, when we were in the Middle East,
Oh, I
we
guess.
were
Yeah.
just the two of us. So we kind of just didn't really do anything. It's just another day. And I think it's going to be the same way here because, none of our kids are here or anything. So it's just going to be another day like any other day.
I find Christmas in Mexico or in somewhere hot, because I lived in the Grand Cayman Islands there in Jamaica for a couple of Christmases, and it's so different not having snow, not having having palm trees that are wrapped in
Yeah.
lights, and especially being a Northern Canadian girl, right? Like
Mhm.
yeah, and same with you, Sabrina, probably, realizing not being a Northern Canadian girl, but just being around cold and being somewhere hot is really it's a really unique experience for someone that has not been somewhere like that. I guess some people find snow totally unique for Christmas, but that's what I love about doing this work too, is because you meet so many people from around the world. For the first time, I don't think I have any Australians on, but I mean, it's their summer right now, so we're all completely kind of backwards, right? um
Mhm.
yeah, that's exactly it, Sabrina. She agrees it would be weird to have Christmas in a warm environment. I found it really hard to get into the Christmas spirit. It really, really was. And even the food is kind of different, right? So yeah, and oh my goodness, the dragging out of decorations and then putting it all away. And yeah, it's like, oh my gosh, 6 birthdays in December. Oh my goodness. I've always felt slightly bad for people that have birthdays in December, but I've realized that they actually, gift wise, you can kind of cash in because people sort of do double, but then some other people get ripped off. But it's kind of a festive time where you're at least seeing people, so it makes it more like people actually will remember your birthday when you have one in December, which it can almost feel forgotten at times, I'm sure. um, and yeah, right, everybody's having really a different one. For us in Canada, we're not allowed to really be around family if we're not vaccinated. So it's going to be definitely an unusual Christmas. But thank goodness for Zoom. What I did was actually I opened up some of my appointment times over the holidays for people that are really struggling. And I'm really grateful to Kim and Sarah because they did a course just this last little while on grief and trauma. And I was so grateful to be able to experience that and sort of allow those little pieces that I was sort of really needing to deal with about grief. Like, mwah, that was just so amazing. And one of the things that really makes me sort of feel good about people that are going through that is that you know the struggles that they're going through without someone around for the holidays, right? So even if I can just hold space for them, be an ear, that's something that really makes me feel good. And the people that I've sort of reached out to let them know that, and just kind of been able to send my calendar link, I feel like I'm being able to just take a little bit of an edge off for hopefully someone throughout this time, because it's a lot more fun and a lot easier to have fun and enjoy it, right? So here's a few things that are very, very common sense, but we're just going to kind of go through a few of them. Laughing, of course, you're going to get those chemical cocktails the same as we would if we were doing something like a recode session or doing a meditation. So making sure that we're feeling good, making sure that we're actually getting some laughter out, getting those doses of chemicals and getting those doses of dopamine and serotonin and just feeling good. And when you're laughing, you're almost always laughing with someone else. So that is huge too. What I have on here, if you read through, you guys are welcome to take screenshots if you want, just because there is some oil recommendations on here. If you're needing some laughter in your life, citrus oils will really kind of help you feel uplifted. So I use lemon or orange, and I'll take a drop in my hand. I'll kind of rub them together and just inhale them, and it makes you feel really good. It actually sort of boosts your energy at the same time. So if you're tired, it's a really great thing to do before someone comes over, and it'll make them feel good too. Everybody loves citrus smells usually. And prioritizing. So prioritizing, we use our lenses. You guys are all familiar with those. And for those people that aren't familiar with the lenses, it's basically our morning ritual, our monthly choices, our basically our scope of where we kind of need to go to keep ourselves really focused on what we want to be focused on, not letting our day kind of get away from us. So prioritizing is huge. And prioritizing doesn't have to be just a to-do list. It can be the things that you really need to do for yourself, like the big things like drinking water, or, not saying no to this other concert that someone wants you to help arrange, or this other board that they could really use help on. Or if it feels good and you have the time and the energy, that's awesome, but give from a full cup. Make sure that you have your cup filled first. Journaling or just writing down, this is where the lenses come into play too. At the end of the day in our lenses, it basically has, what are you grateful for? And I'm not talking about being grateful for my oils, although I am really grateful for my oils. I'm not talking about being grateful that I have this laptop even. It's being grateful that I was able to be at this point where I can hold space for people to help them to do stuff like this. It's I am grateful for my kids being so healthy. I am so grateful. We're just like, there's so many things out there and they are just so healthy and happy. And I'm just so grateful for that, and I'm so grateful for you guys and having a tribe and finding all these people, just the things that we're really, really grateful for, right? Like feeling that's so important. And treating yourself, whatever it is, I like to make bubble baths. I like to make bath bombs. I like to make all sorts of pillow mists. I'll show you guys a few of the fun little things that I make. Just a bath, like that's it for me. A bath is like, that's my guilty pleasure. That is just the thing I love to do. And whatever, if it's getting a pedicure, if it's going for a walk, if it's just getting out into nature, between treating yourself and getting out into nature, just having a space where, that was one thing that occurred to me even last week. I have my office in here, which is awesome. And if I'm not in here, I basically will get interrupted in whatever it is I'm doing. So this is, I have this space where I can actually just, I used to joke, before I had my office all set up, I'd be meditating and someone would just come in and turn on the light and be like, what are you doing? Like, I'm effing meditating was what I would say a lot of the time, right? And so having that escape, having that place, even if it's just, going for the walk around the block and that block is your place, going for a walk and sitting on a rock and that is your place. That's just that little escape where you can breathe, you can practice your gratitude, you can do your writing, you can, all these things that we're supposed to do, we're supposed to make time for, incorporate it into an environment as well, make it really worth it. When I was talking about contributing, something like this with maybe over the holidays, you want to book a day where you're just giving away free appointments for people, not a ton, but maybe just a few free half hours, or maybe you want to incorporate something into the holidays, such as making a day for someone that you just set aside for them, someone that, like, maybe it's an auntie, maybe it's someone that, who knows, may not even be around next year. Maybe they will be around next year. Maybe you just want to hang out with them. But think about someone that you could make their day a little bit more special, just like they do for you when you finish hanging out with them and you're like, why don't I go visit them more often, Or, don't book a whole day, make a phone call, make an afternoon where you're just going to bake some cookies, talk on the phone, just kind of hang out, do a Zoom even while you're baking with someone, do something with someone, whether it's online or whether just be with them, give them some energy and give them some one-on-one energy, not where you're distracted, not where you're there sitting on the phone, but where you're really there holding space with them and for them. Maybe it's someone that this is their first year on their own. You've been through this first year on your own. So, maybe that's exactly what you need. Or maybe someone wants to invite you and they just want to have you over. That's just what they want to do. And that would just make their holiday. Maybe think about making the time for them, Eating right and exercising. So stuff kind of gets blown to the wind when we're going on holidays. Face it, Christmas is usually about the food, right? Who's going to joke with this? There's so many things that you can do to actually make sure, taking your vitamins, making sure if you're on a greens juice, keep it up, making sure you're drinking your water, just in case you tend to have a couple more drinks over the holidays. It's all about the balance, right? As long as we're keeping balance one way or the other. And breathing's the biggest thing. So whenever I am encouraging people to breathe, I really encourage them to do it from their belly. I literally tell you to take a nice deep belly breath where you're expanding your whole belly like a basketball when you're breathing in. And then when you're breathing out, you're almost like you're blowing up a balloon in waves. So you're just like taking that breath and just blow it all out. Just let your whole belly deflate like that big basketball is just deflating. Nice big breaths. You're going to oxygenate your body 80% more just by getting your diaphragm involved. Then you can get your side lungs involved, like you would hear in yoga, where you fill up your belly, fill up the front of your chest, and then you're actually expanding your chest laterally. So you're actually expanding the side chest. And so it's really cool, the side lungs. I like to tell people to just be able to sort of get that oxygen flowing, right? Okay, I was trying to come out of my PowerPoint and then I ended up stopping together. So here we go again. All right. So awareness precedes choice and choice precedes results. I thought this was really fitting simply because we know all about choices, right? And we know exactly how choices can affect our end results. And so what we are wanting to do here is keep our end result in mind. Keep our end result in mind that we know, the holiday season is just short. It's something that will be very fleeting. It's something that will actually end up being over before you know it. And pretty soon you're going to be almost starting Christmas shopping again. So by slowing down and just kind of enjoying it, this is really the key. So we talked a little bit about citrus oils. Something that a lot of people do is they use lemon in their water. So squeezing lemon in your water. Lemon essential oil is made from the lemon rind and the peel, not the actual fruit. So what happens is if you're going to take a drop of doTERRA lemon, I wouldn't drink any other one, in your glass of water, you're going to put just one drop in. And by drinking that, it actually alkalizes your system. It strengthens your immune system. It cleanses your system. So it really invigorates you. It really balances your pH out. So you can actually just balance from the inside with lemon. Another thing that we do with all of these oils is I make this flu balm. And I threw this recipe in here, not that I expect you guys to have these oils at home, but just look at the things that it's made out of, right? Lemon, oregano. On Guard is basically our immunity blend. So it has cinnamon, clove, wild orange, rosemary. What else is in there? What else is in there, Ray? can't remember. Anyways, it's got all of your cleansing, your immune boosting oils in there. So it's actually something that we take internally. So we put all these in a capsule and take it, or this recipe I actually use in just a roller ball. And I top it up with some fractionated coconut oil, just some liquid oil, whatever kind of carrier oil you have. You can spread that just on your feet and it's going to boost your immune system naturally. It's incredible. So I don't expect you to, like I say, have all these at home, but if you do, you can certainly make a couple of different immune boosting recipes. Feel free to, again, to screenshot these and I can always send them to you as well. So schedule calm down breaks. I don't know if any of you guys do this, but this is something that I really have started doing lately, is setting an alarm in my phone around 1:30 p.m. because if I'm kind of getting carried away by 1:30 p.m., I'm not going to recover from my day because I will end up having so much to do that I will not sleep and I will be up until 1:30 in the morning trying to finish everything. So in case sleep is a bit of an issue for you guys, or if you are actually really trying to calm down at the end of the day and you can't, there's a couple of oils. Now, this is a really good recipe just to kind of make your own rollerball. We have a balance blend and a peace blend that are really cool. They actually help you with your emotions. Kim, you'll be seeing your peace coming soon. I have peace, cheer. Oh, there's a whole bunch of good ones. But they have a lot of these oils in it. Copaiba is the one in the middle where we add 5 drops to in this rollerball. Copaiba is a lot like CBD oil. It's the BCP, the beta carotene, that actually really works with your endocannabinoid system. So it gets those CB2 receptors going, not the CB1 receptors for hallucinogenics. It's the CB2s for anti-inflammatory. So between copaiba and frankincense, they're some of the most anti-inflammatory oils that we have, as well as the cedar, balance, and peace, all just calming your mind. Oh my goodness, it's absolutely incredible. It's like, it's impossible to not fall asleep when you have something like this. And these are just a couple of fun pillow sprays that I made for people for Christmas. I made little bottles. I just put a few drops of the oils in and a little bit of witch hazel, and they can just spray their pillows. I make cute little labels and stuff and just put them on the bottles. They're really cute. And the reason I show you these are my favorite oils for relaxing and happiness. So if you ever wondered if any essential oil is good for you, these are them, because lavender and cedarwood. Lavender is going to relax your nervous system. It's an antihistamine. It's going to have calming effects. But the cedarwood and the next one over, vetiver, those ones are the best for mind chatter. So, when you lie down and it's like, what did I do in grade 3? And then, oh, what about a grade 9? And why did I make that decision? Oh, I have to do this. That is what the hamster running, I call, will be put to sleep by a little bit of cedarwood and vetiver. So I put those in a room spray for the nighttime, spritz down the pillows. I make monster sprays for kids out of those because it just calms their mind. They're out cold. The bergamot is that's like the Earl Grey. So you can actually drink a drop of bergamot in your tea to calm down, to relax, but it's the biggest anti-stress oil people use, the biggest. It's in every scent that has to do with stress. So bergamot is absolutely gorgeous. And then the ylang ylang and sandalwood, for a person that tends to have, like, say, hot flashes so that they're not sleeping, they tend to get warm, hormones are a little bit out of whack, or your passion's a little gone. The ylang ylang is amazing, and sandalwood is just that sort of that driver to put you to sleep. It's absolutely incredible. So these are some really nice gift ideas. All right, so I am going to get you guys into the mood. Those are the biggest ones I wanted to tell you about. Yes, so being generous, mostly with time, mostly with energy. It's something that we can always give everybody. And it is one of the biggest things that make us feel good, right? We get those chemical responses, again, from making someone else feel good, just because we're all coaches. That's how we roll. We care about people, and making this holiday really about that, I think, will be very special, not only for you, but for a lot of other people as well, right? So diffusing all of these oils, you can throw them on a cotton ball, put them on a vent, you can put them in an actual diffuser, you can put them in just in your hand and just smell it. Just smelling it, it's that external source, right? So for all my coaches out there, this is what I use for anchoring. So if someone, still is really having a hard time shutting off their brain, and they are having a hard time getting into the recode even, and I know them, I'll suggest having their cedar wood around, or a lot of people will have some kind of oil around. They've got some kind of good smell that they associate with feeling good. And cinnamon is one of the ones that really do help you to sort of feel good. So that's always one that I kind of like to kind of keep in the background. So we're going to have some fun before I jump into the recode and all that kind of stuff. Actually, I'm going to give you guys this one more time here, Surviving the Holidays. So some very simple ones. We have emotions on the names of some of our oils. So things like motivate, serenity. The adaptive is actually an adaptogenic blend. Everybody wants to take adaptogenic herbs. They want their body to be able to adapt to stress. And so our adaptive oil actually calms your nervous system. It's like a little bit of a spa in a bottle. So you stay very clear and alert, but you're just totally chill. It's so nice. So there's different things for certain moods, but there are so many oils to use. I really just wanted to kind of give you guys some keys about things like the vetiver and the cedar wood and some of those emotions oils. Sometimes we don't know. Oh, I love it, On Guard spray. It's the best. It smells so good and it works so good, right? Like it really does work so good. I absolutely love On Guard. It's like I put it on my kids' feet every night before they go to bed. I love it, Sabrina. I knew we connected. That's so cool. All right, so we're gonna have fun have a little laugh before I hop into some of the recode, because I want to ask you guys about a really good Christmas memory. And then we are going to go through just kind of doing a little bit of self-love and just having a nice little play in the sandbox after. So first letter of your first name. My name was, what was it? Buddy, oh goodness, Buddy Cookie Crumb. But my daughter ended up being Naughty Sparkly Pants, and she must have laughed for like 15 minutes was her elf name. Can you guys see that on there?
That's a good one.
What is your elf name? What's Ray's elf name? Ray would be Snowball.
McJingle.
Snowball
Snowball
McJingle.
McJingle.
I love it. And Kim, you are going to be Buddy Crinkle. Well, that's rather uneventful, isn't it, Buddy Crinkle? Oh my gosh. And Sabrina, you are going to be, what are you, Sabrina? Angel, when's your birthday?
It's Angel Candy Cane.
Angel Candy Cane. That's so cute. I think these are more stripper names than elf names. Angel Candy Cane, here she comes.
Then you're way off.
I love it. I love it. All right, I'm gonna stop my share here. So hopefully I love that. Hopefully I allowed you guys just to have a little glimpse into some of the other tools, right? Like it's definitely not in replace of any of this mind work, but it's something that I use a lot of times just during my sessions or just during my day even, right? That really kind of keeps me on track. It's been very, very helpful, especially some of those motivate oils lately and some of the holiday oils just to kind of get you into the mood. So I'm going to ask you guys, I want you to close your eyes for a moment. And we're going to go back, way back to when we were a kid. And I want you to think about one of the best Christmas moments you had, one of the most exciting moments. Was it waiting up for Santa one year? Was it opening just the best gift you ever had. We're going to leave all of the negative Christmases, all of the, all of those secondary intention gifts, all of those people we're missing. We're going to leave all of those because I feel them creeping in right away. And we're just going to literally go to the best Christmas memory that we have. And I want you to just feel that for a minute. I want you to go in and be that kid again and feel that joy and that excitement and that feeling of Christmas morning when you knew you'd probably go to see a whole bunch of family, maybe cousins, maybe it was bringing your gifts over to your grandma's place, showing your cousins what you got. I want you to just feel that for a minute. I want you to enjoy it for just a minute because we haven't been back there for a really long time. And I want you to ask yourself right now, how can you bring that little piece, preserve that little piece of magic, and how can you bring it into your whole holiday season, your whole field this year? What's something little? Was it thinking maybe you were going to do something for someone, but maybe thought it was silly, or, you haven't done anything like this for maybe your kids or your friend for a super long time, but I feel like maybe this is the year to just kind of reach out. Can you guys think of anything? Did anything come to your mind with that? I can almost see you overthinking that one, Kim.
No, I put it in the chat. My mom was one of 9 children, and I was the oldest grandchild. So when we went to Christmas parties, I had a ton of little cousins to play with, and all my uncles
Oh,
cards, and they made me get their beer, and I'd take a little nip and give it to them, and just the smell of the basement, my uncle's basement, the whole. I mean, there were, and my aunt, my godmother was a Christmas around the world rep, so there was the place was literally dripping in Christmas
see, you
decorations.
were literally there. You were
Yeah.
just there.
Oh, yes,
I
absolutely.
love it. How cool is that? Because I just saw like walking in the door and all these cousins. Like, I don't know. I'm an only child. I don't know where this comes from.
Well, if you're in my field, that's where it's coming from because
so cool.
I have 14 cousins.
Oh, wow.
So there was a lot.
Oh, that's so awesome. And it's almost like they're more like siblings. Hey, like you were so close. I love it. I love it. How about you, Sabrina? Childhood times of waking up to give suddenly there. Oh, that magic of Christmas morning. Hey, looking at the tree and knowing nothing was there the day before, maybe like a few little presents. That's my kid's favorite thing about Christmas, actually. And that's because we never put Christmas gifts out. I can't even get the tree up before Christmas. Never mind having gifts wrapped in out. And I just started Christmas shopping this week. Like it's not something I'm ever prepared for. But this year I'm ahead of the game. So oh goodness. And were you able to think about something that you could do this year that would kind of give you a little bit of that magic? Were you able to sort of not figure out, but did something kind of come to you, even just something random and small?
I think what I'm going to do, my favorite thing, there was always something under the tree, even once we knew that Santa wasn't real, there was still always 1 or 2 things under the tree that said from Santa.
Yeah.
So I think that's what I'm going to do this year. I'm going to make, I got everybody 2 things. I'm going to make 1 of those things from Santa. So
I love it.
that's what I
That's
can
so
do
cute.
in my world.
That's so cute. And
That is
that's
sweet, Kim. I
exactly,
love that.
yeah, that's exactly kind of what that's actually what's in my field too. My kids were even like, Mom, I don't know, because now they know, right? They're 12, 14. They're like, how do you make it look like Santa's writing still? And I was like, well, I use the other hand. They're like, awe. And I never thought I'd be telling them that, right? But it's magical. And they asked for that still. Like, that's not going to change, is it? Because this is really our first year where my littlest one, we still had her believing. We were still doing the elves until last year. So. How about you, Sabrina? Were you able to think of anything that you could do to bring some of that magic? Were you able to
Yeah,
feel the
I think
magic?
it was totally just going and sitting in front of the tree because there's a bunch of gifts that appeared and just sitting there and being like, oh my gosh, who's this from? And who's this for? And who's this go to? And yeah, making piles and separating them out for each of us. I'm one of 4 kids, so it was with a single mom. And so it was really cool to have presents under a tree. And
Well, yeah, and there'd probably be a lot of them, right? A lot of little things just for
yeah,
each of you.
she probably worked on that for months just to get something cool under the tree.
Isn't that amazing?
Yeah.
And at the time, we don't think of that at all.
Oh,
like
no,
how much?
absolutely not. No, it was just, it was magical in her own way. And she didn't show the stress or the disappointment of not doing what she wanted. Yeah, we don't think about any of that. It was just full gratitude and just cheerful and happy and fun.
And she probably loved every minute of it, eh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then she'd always
slept for a week.
open gifts and like she'd already be in the kitchen like cooking our meal or whatever, which was just the next thing to do. But hindsight of having someone cooking me breakfast is magical in itself.
Especially Christmas breakfast after you have all these presents and chocolate to eat, right? Remember chocolate in the stocking and things like that. It was just like, ooh, what treat are you going to get after? So cute. And how about bringing it forward to this year? Is there something that came to your mind or came into your field to bring some of that magic into this year? Is that what you already
driving
do?
around and looking at Christmas lights in people's yards and the decorations that are outdoors?
That's really cool.
I think it's really cool just to see other people's creativity and their investment in their own home and what they want to display. I think it's pretty magical. And just taking the time to drive around in specific neighborhoods that aren't necessarily on your way to the grocery store kind of thing, and driving through and looking and taking an hour or two to coast through the small neighborhood or the big neighborhoods, where you can just cruise through and check them out. I think that's fun too.
It's true.
It's totally, that's present and, being able to go and do that.
That's so true. That's like a crazy thing around our area this year, like not so much in the country, but in the city, even there's people making like lists of the really good houses to go to. And there's one out in the country here that sets it to music, and they have shows every hour where you can go and sit there. And it's literally a whole progressive show. It's so cool. Like they must just spend thousands on electricity. I can't imagine. But they do it every year and they just love it. It's really, really neat. So how about you, Ray? Were you able to pop into the field and feel some Christmas magic?
Not really. I was I'm not coming up with anything, any memories. But as you've been talking and people have said different things, there's been like, oh, and it's brought some memories forward now. But this year, you know what, I'm basically just going to concentrate on being grateful that I'm not cooking for anybody and I'm not trying to please anybody.
That is the truth.
And I'm just gonna whatever.
And isn't that okay? Like it's absolutely okay. And we tend to just put these expectations on ourselves, that it should be stressful. Like I was like, well, I'm not doing this and I'm not doing that. Maybe I should be doing more. Why can't I just enjoy it? Right? Like, why can't I just slow it down? Because this is a huge opportunity. Maybe it will never be as crazy as it was, because I'm not going to let life get that crazy again. But it's all about sort of making the choice to completely embrace the opportunity of whatever it is now, whether it's just even taking the time, not so much about not about the gifts, but about just literally being with people and spending some time and spending some time with ourselves. Like I think that's probably one of the biggest gifts we can give ourselves, is actually spending that time with ourselves. So if you guys are up for it, I'd just like to finish this off with a bit of a recode and just kind of bring us
Wonderful.
into some Christmas magic and just really actually focus on meeting ourselves for Christmas. We're going to give ourselves a little bit of a gift, just a little bit of a gift of self-love. All right. So if you guys are up for it, I am just going to go ahead and ask you to just give me permission to connect with you, just in your mind and your heart. Just go ahead and allow us to do that. That's awesome. All righty. I am going to ask you guys to just imagine right now that you're standing outside and you're dressed in a nice warm coat. And it's not too cold, but it's just the perfect temperature to feel a little bit Christmassy. I want us to just imagine what it would be like. Remember when we were young and we would just stand outside on the sidewalk at night and see the sparkling snow. And I want you to look up and just feel some of those beautiful little snowflakes starting to fall. And it's like all of these little snowflakes have a little love message attached. And every time you feel a little snowflake land on you, it gives you a little happy feeling, like a little Christmas kiss from an angel, from someone on the other side. And as you stand and just get sprinkled in some of those Christmas kisses, I want you to just feel what the air feels like going in your nose. Might be a little bit cool. And I want you to fill up your bellies as big as you can and just expand them like a big beach ball, just inflating in your belly as you breathe in. And as you're breathing out, just let out all that stale air. Just push it out. Give it an extra push. That space between the breath, when you take your breath in and you hold it for just a second before you let it out, that space between the breath is truly that space of allowance. And I want you to just feel your consciousness expanding with every breath that you're taking and every sparkle that is falling on you, every beautiful little snowflake. And I want you to notice that your hands feel warm in your mittens and your feet feel cozy in your boots. And you're just looking around at the trees that are just getting covered in snow, and you're just enamored with the beauty and the sparkle and wonder how something can be so beautiful that's just falling from the sky. And I want you to just feel each snowflake that lands on you. And super conscious, I want you to just look at all of the things that may have just been brought up into the field as being a little bit hard or being a little bit stressful or being a little bit unusual for these holiday seasons, for this last month of the year. And I'm just going to ask that you tag and treat any of those little memories, any of those little blips that popped up that just might not be needed this year. We're going to do a massive change history on all those. And we're going to just align going into this whole month with just love and ease and grace. And superconscious, we're just going to treat and tag anything that might allow us to not be moving forward to that ease and grace, and just bringing forward all of those things that are allowing us, there we go, just to create the most amount of satisfaction and just the least amount of pain through these holidays for us, for other people. There we go. We're just going to do a massive change history on all those. And we're just going to go through some of those beliefs that may not even allow us to enjoy Christmas fully. What about that whole feeling of being worthy of being celebrated for Christmas? Maybe treating all those beliefs of perhaps being abandoned or not wanted or not needed anymore or looked over or left behind. Just going to treat all of those. And just do a massive change history on all that. Just take a nice deep breath and connect with some of those snowflakes again. I want you to look up to the sky and see in the light how they're just floating down. There may be certain people coming down to give you kisses right now. And as you're standing there, I want you to notice that you could really use a friend that's kind of like you. One that actually really, really cares. One that's not in it for anything. One that's just trustworthy. That's just, you say what you do what you say. And I know this might be weird, but right now I want you to picture you right now standing right beside that kid, that person, whoever that was just feeling all those Christmas kisses. And I want you to just be with them. And I want you to feel the energy from having someone like you in your life. And I want you to recognize that you have always had you. And I want you to wrap your arms around that other person. I want you guys to just wrap your arms around each other. I want you to give the biggest, bestest hug that you've ever given to yourself right now. And I want you to be grateful that you just realize that you have the absolute best friend you've ever needed that's going to give you the best advice, because it's going to be truly for the greater good. And I want you to just hold each other, and I want you to feel how each other are feeling, like you're hugging your oldest friend, like you're like, oh yeah. And I want you to just allow that. And super conscious, we're just going to go back through any of those family entanglements, those broken agreements, those Christmases that never were, those people you never really got to say goodbye to, and some of those people that you really never got to spend enough time with. And I want you to see right now that one of those people was you. and you still have you. Maybe you've just found you. Super conscious, we're just going to tag and treat all that. We're going to do a massive change history. We're just going to look at some of those secondary intentions with Christmas. And super conscious, we're just going to ask that you treat what needs to be treated here. You're going to do a massive change history on all those. And super conscious, we're just going to open the floodgates of abundance. It feels like there's these gates or these walls around us that felt like we shouldn't be the ones taking, we shouldn't. We're going to open all those gates up, and we're just going to allow. This can be time, this can be love. This doesn't have to be financial, but we're just going to allow it. And super conscious, I'd like to just bring on any of the other parts right now that are just awakening or coming on board or ready for treatment. We're just going to ask all parts come on board. Those inner child, those inner wounded child, the guilt, the shame. We're just going to bring that all. There we go. All those little part personalities, all those little voices. Some of them were really useful, but some of them learned some hard lessons and some lessons that are no longer serving us. We make different choices now. We're just going to tag and treat all of those and any that we may have missed and just do a massive, massive recode on all of those. And last but not least, I want us to look up again at that light that those snowflakes are just coming down from the sky. And I want you to try and catch one on your tongue and notice how it feels. Just that funny trying to actually catch it with your tongue. And when you do, I want you to notice that it actually starts to light you up from the inside. These weren't just any snowflakes. These were like all of that love, all of the energy that's been just hovering around wherever it may be, an angel and source. It's able to touch you right now with these snowflakes. And I want you to notice them in your hair. And I want you to notice if you're still actually giving yourself a hug or if you're just one now. And super conscious, we're just going to go through all of the energy systems, just balancing every cell to the vibration that it needs to be, rising. Oh, some of those are just lighting up, and I want you to just feel those just from the very top of your head, right from that crown chakra, just opening up, releasing extra pressure in that head right now. And just, I want you to just feel that exchange happening. Maybe the snowflakes are warm sparkles now, and they're just sprinkling through. They're just lighting you up. I want you to feel that moving down through your third eye, throughout your eyes, your sinuses, all your glands in your brain, your hypothalamus, just feeling all of that just melting right through the brain, and just taking a nice deep breath, relaxing your shoulders, letting all of the muscles just relax, just feeling that love just growing, that grace just growing in your body. That energy just charging up every cell, just filling up every crack. Almost like a fire just starting to move through the body. And as that fire is just sort of going where it needs to go, it's not raging, it's just a fire that's just cleaning up any of the stuff like on the bottom of the forest floor when you hear those seeds just cracking open after the heat. All of these seeds for a new season, a new year, all of these seeds that you're touching with your little bit of fire, just moving that down into the solar plexus, just lighting that fire up. I want you to feel it moving up into your heart chakra, that whole chest, the whole abdomen, just filling with light. Feeling the heat move down into your solar plexus and right down into your root chakra. Through the sacral plexus, just grounding it right back into Mother Earth. And with all this grounded energy, all this love from your best friend that's just been wanting to be listened to. You can come back to me. And just let me know. I never tend to ask resistance because a lot of times I'm just kind of trying to create balance more so than really that resistance. I feel like it kind of comes up in the field. So super conscious is aware of it is going to kind of tag things, but I always feel like I kind of know where people's resistance is at. It wasn't like a huge thing going into this holiday season for any of us, but I feel like we all kind of needed, why that connection with just ourselves and feeling those snowflakes and kisses. It was all just in the field. So I won't explain it, but I'll ask you guys to share because I'm sure you were with me there.
Well, I could totally connect because both you and Sabrina, who know me, know that I have a love-hate relationship with winter. 99.9% of the time, I hate it. I've always hated it. It's slippery and messy and icky, and I hate it, and I'd rather be in Florida. But there was one time when I lived in the Upper Peninsula of Michigan when my whole world fell apart, and I had to get on the roof and shovel the roof in the middle of a snowstorm, and it was dusk. And I got up on that roof with my 3 sweatshirts on, 2 pair of gloves, 3 pair of pants, snow boots, swearing all the way up the ladder, right? That who would put a flat roof on a house? And I got up there and I'm shoveling, and my dad's house was in the middle of the woods, and it was so silent, and it was snowing so heavily. And when you looked, if you didn't move, you could actually hear the snow falling. And it was just at dusk that when you looked up, you could see the sparkling snow. It was the most beautiful thing. And I remember it like I was standing there just now.
Love it.
So that one time that I actually, for the 0.001% that I enjoy, I was there and I could feel it, and I was totally there with you, and I appreciated the visuals, and it was so perfect.
Love
And
it.
the resistance you were feeling from me is, I'm stuck in Wisconsin I don't get to go to Florida for a month this year, and I'm, booing that all the way home. So that was my resistance. But I got men who live here, they can shovel, and I can just enjoy. I love a good snow day, right? Can't go anywhere. It makes you stay home and drink hot chocolate and
It
be
does.
It forces you to have a self-care day. I do love that about the winter.
Snow days have to be the best thing, honestly. They really do.
That was wonderful. It was powerful and good, and I feel good.
Oh, I'm so glad. And thank you, Sabrina, she said it went from a 6 to a 1. So that is awesome. And that's like, I felt we were all probably sitting around like between 4 and 6, it was nothing like huge, but then it was kind of neat just seeing some of those parts pop up. Like there was some resistance there all of a sudden where it was, just kind of, lots of old stuff, just, those, maybe I should leave, maybe I should, it's hard to make those decisions around this time. So, but it just, yeah, it didn't feel resistant after that. It was kind of, I think that stuff needed to come up. So that was awesome. That was awesome. And if I haven't knocked you out, Ray, did you want to share with us at all? We might have put her to sleep sometimes. That I love the fact that that does actually happen, but we may have you back. Yes, you're there.
You did lose me for a while.
Did I? Awesome.
And
I
then
think
couldn't
maybe that
unclick.
was the part personalities. They would just knocked you out so you would just enjoy the rest of the session. I love it.
But yeah, when we were walking in the cool air, it took me actually to a place. We were living in Gillam, and the kids were just little, and we were walking home Christmas Eve from a party, and I was just like so there again. And it was the most incredible northern. I mean, I've seen lots of northern lights,
Oh,
but this night was just unbelievable. The whole sky was bright and dancing, and the kids were all in the toboggan, and I could just feel those little snowflakes coming down, and it was, yeah, it was wonderful.
I'm so glad.
And then you lost me.
I'm so glad. Oh, that's awesome. I love it. That is absolutely awesome. Oh, I'm so glad you guys made this. Was just perfect tonight, because had other people been here, even from Australia and stuff like that, they may not have had that sparkly snow, and it was just so in our field that I just went with it. So hopefully in replay land we have a few more snow angels that will join us in really getting into those, feeling those snowflakes. And I remember I hadn't thought about it until I was in that recode, and just I wanted to just go chase a snowflake and catch it on my tongue and have that feeling again, and that sparkle at night when it's cold, and it's just so gorgeous. And well, I'm going to just stop recording, and then I will say good night to you guys really quick.